Hey guys, so in the previous video, we covered Dine revenue and we computed the total revenue. In this video, we're going to compute some of the key costs that will show up in the P&Ls. Let's just begin with that, right? First cost will be material cost, right? I sell food. There will be costs associated with buying these materials. Now, what have they told us? They've told us that material cost as a percentage of sales is 35%. Fantastic. So I don't really have to drive it in a very complicated way. Just like this, lock the cell, okay, and makes it sound like they want us to keep it the same, right? So for the sake of simplicity, just let's say, how is this going to change, right? Increase, let's just say 0% through and through over the life of this model. Right, so then what will the total material cost be? Total material cost will then be total revenue times this number, right? 35%. Why total revenue? Because, and why not just dine in? Because even delivery revenue has a food, you're selling food, right? At the end of the day. So that's why 35%. Okay, so we're done with material costs. Let's move on to employee costs, right? Employee costs. So let's just first say that comments, we are assuming no change in material costs, right? So we know that we've taken this assumption. Next, employee cost, number of employees. Let's just use the data they've given us, right? So what are they saying? You start off with 10 employees. On average, each of them earns 15,000 rupees a month. So let's assume, this is assumption again, so let's just put it over here, that when you start, you are building out for as much capacity as you can fill. So these 10 employees will be employees that will be required even if you hit your maximum level of utilization. Let's assume that this will not go up. You build for your full potential, okay? Let's just number of employees, let's just say increase, make this 0, okay? So this is drag and drop this. Average cost per employee per month. Let's assume there's an inflation of 7%. Again, why 7, why not 5 doesn't matter right now. I'm taking any number. You can take any number that you want. Don't get fixated on this, but just let's assuming annual inflation of 7%. Okay. So let's just copy paste it from here. This was 5%, I believe. So we'll just make it 7. This. Okay. This is 5, right? 7. Actually, you know what? Let's just put like an assumption here in case it'll just be easier to change it. So as opposed to hard coding this, it's not very nice. 7. Okay, so we're done with this. We're doing it this way here. Let's just do the same thing above for like this inflation number, right? So growth in price, let's just assume it to be something like, we've assumed it to be 5%, right? So this is 7. Let's just assume this to be 5. Okay, let's do the same thing for delivery revenue, right? Please bear with me. I know this can be a bit irritating, but yeah, let's just go ahead with it. 5, 5, 5. Yeah, I think we're fine. Okay, so we've computed material costs. We've computed, we need to compute employee costs. Total costs. Total monthly employee costs will not be nothing but number of employees into average cost per employee per month, right? Is, okay. Done with employee costs. What's the next line item? Rent. Okay, this is going to be a bit interesting. So let's just go back. What do they say? Minimum monthly rent per square foot per month of 150 and rent as a percentage sales of 10% over and above a certain minimum guarantee, right? So let's just compute the minimum guarantee. Minimum guarantee per month. Stake area, square footage. Area restaurant size is 3,000 square feet. Okay. Rent per square foot per month is coming out to be 150, right? So we get a total 4.5 lakhs, right? Okay. So let's just see, the square footage is not going to change, right? So that we can just drag and drop this. Minimum rent per square foot per month, right? This metric is going to have like a rent escalation. So let's assume it has an escalation of safe again 7% a year. Let's keep it at 7% a year for now. So this, copy this formula. Okay. Just make sure we link this to 66, right? It should be nothing but linking it here. Yep. Press F2 to enter the cell. We are in row 66. So row 66. 6. Okay. So the minimum guarantee per month that you're going to pay in rent is going to be A into B, right? That now this is the minimum amount I have to pay every month in rent, regardless of how much sales I make. But if my sales reach a certain point, that 10% of my sales is more than this minimum rent, then I will have to pay that amount. So let's compute what that is, right? So uh, rent as a percentage of sales. Let's just go here. What are they saying? 10%, right? Beyond a certain threshold. Let's assume that doesn't change. So we've locked the cell, we've pressed F4. Let's just keep this in bold so we don't get lost. Yep. Rent as a percentage of sales in terms of the number, it'll be 10% of total revenue, right? So the rent that will flow through the PNL, right, will be, it'll be the maximum of these two, which means every month, say in month one, right, I have to pay 4.5 lakhs of rent, at least. If my sales were a lot, right, if my sales were 45 lakhs and above, if they were 50 lakhs, I'd end up paying 10% of that 50 lakhs. But because my sales are 23.7 lakhs and 10% of that comes to 2.3 lakhs, I'll end up paying this minimum amount, right? So let's just compute that. Let's call it max of this and this. Okay. Just use this formatting here. So at the start, you'll notice before the business ramps up, typically the rent you pay is the minimum guarantee. Once the business is ramped up, 10% of sales is more than the minimum guarantee. So you end up paying 10% of sales and not the minimum guarantee. So we're done with rent. Next, let's go to energies and utilities, right? Energies and utilities. Oh, wonderful. It's been given as a percentage of sales. So we don't have to really kill ourselves here. Let's assume this is 10%. We've locked the cell. Let's assume that this is like a variable cost. It is almost like a variable cost and will not change with sales. We can change this assumption later, but for now, let's just assume this. Okay. So energies and utilities costs. This will include all of your gas costs, your utilities costs, fuel, 10% of this. Have this cost. Fantastic. Next, let's move on to marketing and brand building, right? So again, it's been given as a percentage of sales. Now, what have they told us in this line item? They've told us that in the first month it's 20%, and then it goes on a 10% by month 12, and then it stabilizes post that. So what are we going to do? We're just going to assume, let's just take this as 20%. Okay. Let's assume it decreases by, so we need to make it go down to 10%, right? By month 12. So that's 20 minus 10%. divided by 11, right? Okay, so minus of this rather. Just the column width, yeah. Notice till month 12, it will go to 10% and then just let's make this 0, right? So as a percentage of sales up, sorry, 20% of sales. Yeah. Right. Good. So we've done marketing and brand building. Next, other admin. Sorry, next is maintenance cost, right? So this would be nothing but just making sure the place is clean and spick and span. So what have they given us? Maintenance cost per square foot per month. Okay. Maintenance cost. Increase. Let's just make this like an annual increase, right? So month one is, how much is it? On a square foot basis, it's 150. To sell, copy this escalation. Let's keep this at 7% again. Just change the linking, right? To 088. This. Yep. Copy paste this every time you see a 7. Yep. So we have maintenance costs per square foot basis per month. So it'll be nothing but per square foot cost into total area, right? That's 3,000. So we're done with maintenance. Okay, then we have other admin and OPEX, right? So this is again been given to us on a square foot basis. Just follow the same structure. Let's assume this increases at 7% a year. Change the linking. Yep. Okay. First month cost was 35, right? Yeah. 35 bucks a square foot. Use at this rate each month. Again, the total cost is nothing but this times the total square foot area. I think we're almost done, right? Yeah, we have third-party delivery costs. Let's go here. How has it been given to us as a percentage of delivery sales? So this is nothing but for all of your delivery sales, right? Will probably be executed by delivered by Zomato and Swiggy and food aggregators. You got to pay them a certain amount. So assume it's 20% here. Just assume an increase of, right now keep it 0%. Come back to this at the end of the model. Let's just actually mimic the structure, right? 7% here. Assume this to be 0%, but let's nonetheless plug in the functionality in case we want to change it. So we have it. So this is nothing but 20% of delivery sales, right? Delivery revenue. Got it. Fine. So I think we've covered all of the costs so far. So in the next video, we're going to actually build the P&L and link all of this through the revenue, the material costs, some of the OPEX items, and take it forward from there. See you in the next video. Bye.
Hey, thanks a lot for watching the video. Hope you found it useful and also got a few actionable insights.
Check out our website and join the mailing list for regular content. Do spread the word and share it with anyone else you think might find this useful.